Psst, disclaimer.
Susan Dorr, the night he ordered stuffed crust.
That aged well.
Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lasses, and welcome to The Click. I hope you're having a dandy, finalicious day, because today we are going to look into some r/men-writing-women, which is something we visited quite a long time ago, but we are going to dive right back into that bad boy. So what is this subreddit all about? It's texts, books, all that kind of stuff, where it's very obvious that some dude with his mind, usually in a kind of dirty place, is trying to write very deep characters, but they are not that deep. It's kind of funny, so enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, and you can always unsub if you get tired of seeing my face. I am once again asking that you write women as human beings, and not objects. Oh, if you break it down on the lowest level, we're all just atoms. After the explanation from Green Glasses, Dong retrieved her things, politely said goodbye, and turned to leave. She could feel Green Glasses staring at her back, but she was used to men behaving this way, so instead of being annoyed, she felt comforted? Really? As if by sunlight in winter? That's right, strange men's gaze is the equivalent of sunlight on a cold but still somewhat warm spring evening.
I wasn't staring at your buttocks, I was just caressing you with my sunlight.
Although she was stuck in one place, she felt full of energy. After her shower that morning, she has noticed swelling on her chest in the mirror. It was an exciting development. Of course, she might be deluding herself. It could just be wishful thinking. She had inspected her chest from a number of angles and touched it with that it seemed to be too soft, prosive, far cry. I do not want to read this. I don't think anyone wants to. Who's the target audience for this garbage? Dino put his feet up and chatted for a couple of minutes. He then put down the phone and returned to the table. Okay, he said. The ME confirmed that the first estimate of time of death. The girl had a tiny purse tucked into her personal space, just big enough to hold her driver's license, a credit card, a few bucks. Her name is Elizabeth Sweeney. Where does she live? Really? That's just a casual thing you think people do? Watch as the comments say that this is like a real common thing now, and Click is like completely just whooshing it.
Oh my god, I don't have any pockets for my driver's license.
No worries, just put it up there. Oh, perfect. And then a cop stop you, and you know. She would have turned and sprinted for the door. It was all reflex from this point on, though, and Rose's reflexes had never been the best part of her. The dogs began to bark even before she was in motion. She was running for the bedside drawer. But Amber-kind, green-eyed Amber with her long red curls, her cinnamon-flavored skin, her Barbie doll Vjay. Amber, the lovely girl, she got there first. What's with the casual drop of weird things? He was reading a book. His brain was pumping while reading this book. His toenails glistened in the sun, sparkling like a Greek god's sculpture. 1 in 8 men, 12%, say they could win a point game of tennis against 23-time Grand Slam winner Serena Williams. Tennis is not that easy, fam. Believe me, I've tried. Confident in my ability to properly tennis, I take to court. I smile at my opponent. Serena does not return the gesture. She would be prettier if she did, I think. She serves. The ball passes cleanly through my skull, killing me instantly. Yeah, that's pretty much how it would go. It's kind of like when that test comes and you ask, do you think you're smarter than the average person? And I think the test said that most people say yes, which is kind of funny. Anyway.
My name is Wickabasket and I am the chosen one. I am very plain, but also gorgeous. I am in love with 2 nearly identical white dudes. Which one will I choose? Ah, I'm so clumsy, quirky, except all forms of combat. Yeah. I'm also a vampire. I can relate to this girl. She's just like me.
Her body tensed and quivered as she felt wave after wave surge through it. I probably should have told her about the new electric fence. They had us in the first half. Not gonna lie. 3 stars. It was okay. My servicer was very anticlimactic. She did what she needed to do. Didn't smile, chuckle, giggle, even in the presence of all my humor. It did look like she went from just another day to maybe this day won't be depressing. All the other workers around her were smiling and giggling and loving my energy, though. This was from a guy reviewing his experience at the DMV. I thought it was something completely different. This sounded like he was buying some completely different service, and he was upset as spaghetti that they didn't stroke his ego too. Oh god. It really sounded like it. I'm sorry. That's what this. How fantasy authors write women, a useful alignment chart. Mom good, mom angry, mom evil. Ugly but useful good, ugly but useful angy, ugly but useful evil. Sexy good, sexy angry, sexy evil. That's pretty accurate, yeah. It's just pick and choose, or you just mix them all together. Sexy ugly mom. I don't know. That whole sentence made me very uncomfortable.
Actually false. Most females nowadays were never a virgin. When a female loses her virginity, she produces hormone in her body that opens up the vajayjay wider as well as the hips. It also enhances breast growth. Because so many females are going for bigger men and more men in short span, they trick their body into thinking they're losing their virginity over and over, releasing more of these hormones. Over time, the levels of these hormones have become so astronomically high that children are being born with it. Obviously, for males it doesn't change anything, but females are literally being born this way. There are females who've never been a virgin, and we have a whole line of degenerate mothers on their carousel ride to blame. What the f*** is this?
Good sir, maybe I'll have to make a proper apology video for this later, but I'm gonna make a wild hypothesis here and say that you do not have a degree in any medical field. Another blob lay in the shadows, its limbless bulk crisped like a side of barbecued beef. There was no head. Apparently the gas tank explosion had shattered the skull. Only one anatomical detail identified remains as female, the charred cavity of the Vjay. Here a single sliver of skin had curled away, revealing a fleck of pinkish flesh beneath. You just had to, didn't you? You took something that is completely unrelated. How can I twist this scene into describing a female organ? I know! Let's just make it so the entire body exploded, except from like literally one of the softest and fleshiest part. How can she have been completely like exploded and that remained but not the bones? Or you know, the skull? Or the teeth? The military woman in movies starter pack. Non-military authorized haircut. Wife beater and bra. Yeah! Outperforms men at some point and everyone is impressed. Uses the phrase, "Those sound suspicious," at some point in the movie. Either super hot and fit or older and really strict. But still super hot and fit. Food and naughties. If a Japanese man discovers hair on the legs of a woman, it makes his flesh crawl. Hair on a woman's arms is even more ominous, the arms being more yin than the legs. And this is a sign that the woman is afflicted with the most feral and something melas of all. The loss of her sexuality. A woman with hair on her arms and legs is considered no longer a woman. She has lost her femininity. Does this mean that a man without sufficient arm hair, for example, is no longer considered a man? It must be a two-way street, right? Otherwise it would be, oh my god, is this bias? What? Who would have thunk it? Oh my god! Sorry. That was the last of my hope for this godforsaken species leaking out. A man writing code for women. Upcoming period. Your period may start any day in the next 2 weeks. That's not very helpful. I think you will be hungry at some point in the next 24 hours. Oh, please. This sounds like the bull information they have in, what's it called, star signs? You may face challenges today. You will probably go to the bathroom today. Wow, please tell me more, oh great seer. The Haunted Vjay. Okay. Book description. It is difficult to love a woman whose Vjay is a gateway to the world of the dead. Well, maybe she's drop dead gorgeous. You know that it's bad when my incredibly bad puns are better than the book in question. He will succeed or he will not, Naila thought. Whatever happens, it's God's will. She could feel her heart hammering, though. Idaho's venture was like the naughties, she thought. It was not passively erotic, but akin to rare magic in the way it seized her. She had to be reminding herself that Idaho was not for her. He is for Sirona if he survives, and if he failed, Sirona would try. Siona would succeed or she would not. Siona wanted though if she might experience a climactic experience linked to the naughties. Should Idaho reach the top? He was so close now. It was only when she saw the rope come snaking down that Nila had her climactic experience with the... What? I don't think a random lady watching rock climbing would just stand there like... Ah! Honestly, what I'm starting to believe, there's a big conspiracy here. Aliens have found the Earth, and they are trying to, probe the human race and understand how we function by writing random literature, trying to understand how we work and see if it's well received or not. And it's like an iterative process, so eventually we won't be able to tell apart these books written by the aliens who don't understand us at all, and the real deal. They're taking over! Oh my god, stop the aliens authors now!
The truth! He spends all his time playing video games, what a nerd! He never talks, it's so weird and creepy. I dropped my pen and he picked it up, I don't even want to touch it now. He sat beside me in class, what a freaking stalker! He went to the comedic convention, what a freaking man-child.
Okay, here we go.
He spends all his time playing video games, typical guy. He's so shy, so cute.
What's even the point of this? Is this a man that's written like the female opinions of them? She approached me with enough naughty appeal to stampede a businessman's lunch. I just pictured a bunch of guys in suit getting down on all four, just running around and messing up the entire restaurant. Man, that's kind of a scene I would like to see someone animate. That would be hilarious. Disney Wiki. Physical appearance. Sarah is the most beautiful, most alluring, and most attractive of the Sanderson sisters, as well as the prettiest, sexiest, fairest, loveliest, and hottest and finest of the three sisters. She has long, wavy, light blonde hair, fair skin, and a very slender and cleavage frame along with the busty features. Her whole entire feature was fabulous and stunning. She dresses in shades of blue, including a Bondike, with flowery and browery and lacy sleeves, a deep purple skirt over another, redder skirt with a slit up the side, and stockings with black boots. When outside or flying, she wears a hooded purple cloak. Ah, there's a lot of personality in this text.
She was in her late 30s, but had the body of an 18-year-old glamour model. She looked like a perfectly proportioned woman with the average height had been shrunk by 33%, apart from her breasts. They had been enlarged, literally. Yet this was no ordinary booby jobby. The surgeon who created them was the Michelangelo of Miami Beach. They looked 100% natural, like the booby woobies of a well-endowed Tahitian princess. Not even naughty stars had the booby woobies this good. Lowering my eyes to take the whole rest of her magnificent body, I finally discovered what...
Why? And as if her looks were not stunning enough, she had a rolling, bouncy walk that agitates the globes of her buttocks under her cheap, colorful saris, and half spheres beneath her short sari blouse. The Englishman no doubt had noticed.
Yes, all the bouncy lumps.
Georgie pulled off her shirt, her small, round booby woobies tipped with large, childlike nipples. Child's... She still had at 40, looking delicate. Why would you use that wording? Good sir. This was creepy enough. This should be a Halloween thing. This is a horror story. Khan saw him threatened by the small boobies pointing skyward like surface-to-air missiles, and perceived the woman's hip either as an oasis of peace or as a battlefield. What does that even mean? Fire the missiles! Hey! Everything about Abby seemed barely containable. Her smile was a mile wide, flashing enough dental bonding to retire a subway stop. Her jolting booby woobies threatened to leap from her skimpy tank top, vanquishing her shrunken Curday blazer, and wet nurse the nation. And there was a boisterous band of pink winking above the waistband of her. I had to read this for a class. Welcome to the school of cringe and pain. She had curves in all the wrong places. Some of them cast a three-dimensional shadow. Still others hummed a low, distorted noise as they flitted about like flies. She was nothing like other girls. She was an abomination from the sixth plane of torment.
And she still had the wibbly wobblies.
It's time to write men in the way women are writing again. 1, 2, go!
His shirt might have been too tight, but that was on purpose. If everyone's eyes weren't glued on him, he knew he hadn't tried on hard enough. He was going to get this job, and oh my, this job he would get. The entrance would be the most important part. He slid his hand down his leg as he rose up, walking down the aisle. As he entered the room, he winked at the gentleman in charge and then, oops, dropped his phone. That was it. He turned around to pick it up, knew everyone was looking at his best assets, allowing their eyes to take it in, linger in it. Then, when enough time had passed, he got back up, winked at the audience, and placed his phone in his back pocket, giving them one last look at his whole personality.
These are free to continue. Cheers. Wow, that is surprisingly accurate. A male author is insisting that he is living proof of that it's possible for a male author to write an authentic female protagonist. Here's a quote from his first page. I sauntered over, certain he noticed me. I am hard to miss, I'd like to think. A little tall, but not too tall. A nice set of curves, if I do say so myself. Pants so impossibly tight that if I had a credit card in my back pocket, you could read the expiration date. The rest of my outfit wasn't that remarkable. Just a few old things I had lying around. You know how it is. What? This just comes off as something different.
I wish I was a smoking hot character who could just manipulate the world with my looks.
I think one part that goes into all of this is kind of hypothetical on my part, but I can imagine that people who are, this of course varies, but I think a lot of people who are quite conventionally attractive might get a bit tired of the attention. Imagine if you actually were like that in real life and you get constantly swarmed and oogled by everyone. I think it would be kind of tiresome in the long run. I don't think you would appreciate or try to achieve the pinnacle of it, because it's kind of annoying. Warning! This short presentation reveals a controversial new female mind control technique and may be offensive to women, minors, and close-minded men. Viewer discretion is advised. So you're, like, training people to do brainwashing now or something? This is an ad on YouTube. Female Assassin, written by a male screenwriter starter pack. Mandatory. Must take down one man using legs around the head. Doesn't like anyone anymore, but still falls in love with the male main character, regardless if they are unattractive and unenjoyable. Outfits are more naughty than combat practical. Must show some cleavage. Dead husband, dead assassin partner, dead son, dead hamster, dead literally anything. Must wear a dress like this at least once. Ends up fighting in it. Kills men by seducing them.
I will strangle you with my voluptuousness. Ah!
Oh, sorry.
Kissing the coronavirus.
She was supposed to cure the coronavirus, instead she fell in love with it. Dr. Alexa Ashington Ford is part of a crack team of scientists tasked finding the cure to the devastating coronavirus. Little did she know she would end up falling in love with it in the steamy viral... Well, it has 1 star. 1.3 stars, sorry. Seems pretty accurate. The officer privately interviewed the proposed ward in her bedroom located at the petition's home. She presented as older than her 14 years would suggest, with dark hair, clothes, eye makeup, though with pretty and engaging smile. This officer also observed that the proposed ward had a nose ring and gauge earrings, wherein the earring hole stretched larger than what was typical.
Why is this relevant? This sounds creepy as stop.
Her friendly nipples jiggled.
That's a quote I never thought I would ever read in my entire life. Thank you. Kathy has 2 huge secrets in her life. The first, when she hit an early, physically painful puberty, the ability to telepathically multiply a male's arousal to the monumental heights, which Kathy has used to become a pubescent mistress to a billionaire. It has enabled Kathy and her mother to escape their crap lives and live a life in luxury. The second secret, known only to... You know what I think? The second secret is that she can inflate her breastal regions at will and use them to fly. She was a creature constructed for no other visible purpose than love. What was the word that you blurted out, sir? Me. Snatches character away from author. I wraps them up in warm blankets. What? And places them out of author's reach. But you can have these back when you learn to play nicely. When the main feature, the main deep characteristic of your character that's supposed to make them engaging and likable is that they have tight pants, maybe you should focus more on other things. Physical features can definitely be part of a character, but it sounds very off, and it sounds kind of weird when that is the main focus. How are they talking? What's their charisma like? Are they smart? How do they solve the problems they encounter? What's their character like? What kind of drama do they have with other characters? Anything that is engaging on a personal level. How many times have you heard someone say, hey, you should really read this 500-page long book? Oh, was it good? Yeah, the main character had tight pants. When I was 15, my friend told me I didn't deserve to have boobs if I wasn't doing anything with them. It's been 6 years and I still don't know what that means. What should I be doing with my boobs? Should I build a fence? Write a symphony? Rob a bank? I really don't know. The boob robbery. The brobbery. Ooh. That's a good movie title. Deity was staring at the corpse and did not look happy. Her nips were down flat. All right, Deity backed off, and her nipples showed faintly. Not rigid, but she was feeling better. My darling keeps her feelings out of her face mostly, but those pretty pink spigots are... Nips are not like a dog's tail. They don't start wagging when someone is happy. It's like, I am sad. No. What? Me. So you consider yourself an aspiring writer. Describe this woman in your best prose. Booba! Aspiring indeed.
Girls have periods and boys jerk off.
Everybody. Okay. Yep, that's what divides men and women.
It's like, girls can pee and boys can poop. It's like, okay.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Mike. Good night, John. Good night, honey. Good night, Nick. Oh, is this like how unmoral modern women are or something? I don't know what this is supposed to be. Can you believe female hysteria was considered like an actual medical thing? God. Mary Louise Moneybags in 1880. I am in the mood for naughties all the time and also sad, and I feel dissatisfied with my life. I don't want kids. I hate my dad and my husband.
Dr. Miss O. Jenny, I diagnose you with woman!
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live back in those days. Yikes. They were growing then, but still small, as the pecks of cream on a lemon McMurray pie with hard nuts in the middle. That's the last description of boobs I'm gonna read today. Thank you for watching this godforsaken video. It's always fascinating for me to read these things. This is like a documentary almost. I can upload this to Netflix.
Welcome to this. This is kind of like Discovery Channel, but we get dumber by reading it.
So yeah, I hope an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Mwah.